You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network. Visit pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com to find more great podcasts.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
And welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Happy Monday.
And returning to the Palace of Megapixels is someone who must love E3 because he's already done his own breakdown on one of his podcasts, the Bootleg Shanty, and now he's coming at it once again with us. Please welcome back our fellow podcaster and friend, Garrett Hunter.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
That's my catchphrase
Yes.
for the day, I suppose.
Spot number 2 hype.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be back, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back, man. Excellent.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover, so we need someone who knows what they're talking about. We need somebody who's been there on the front lines, already talking about it.
I can't confirm that I'll say anything that you guys won't, but I'll do my best.
But you'll
That's
say
fine.
it in a different way, and, you know.
Perspective. That's what the world's about, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. So, main question up front. What have you guys been playing? Garrett, start us off. What have you been playing?
I've actually, I was anticipating this question. I was excited for it.
It's like he's done.
So I've actually been visiting the Wolfenstein games in preparation for Cyberpilot and Youngblood. So super digging the New Order right now, and I'm very excited to keep moving forward.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Something about killing Nazis, dude. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just... Like,
yeah,
It's like the one pastime nobody's going to yell at
I think
you for.
what it was, yeah.
Well, you know,
Well,
the ones you want to
until
know.
the new Colossus came out and everyone got upset because it was political, right?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But I watched Inglourious Bastards and I was like, all right, it's killing Nazis time.
Yeah.
If anything, will get you in the mood.
It definitely did.
For sure. Lace, what about you? What you been playing?
You'll be proud of me. I got like 2 games to talk about this time. What? I know. So I played and finished Rover Saves the Universe.
Nice.
We finished that today. So I played the entire thing in VR, and it is just as Justin Roiland as you would expect.
I love the pickle
and
show.
Even then some. It had a maturity filter for one of them, and I was just like, oh boy. Oh boy. Well, of course I didn't go for that filter.
No.
But now I'm convinced if I would have put it on, the game would have been about 20 minutes long. So, because you know how he is. But yeah, I mean, it's just another romp fun thing. I mean, it's not going to win any awards. You know, I mean, it might. I don't know what other kind of, I don't know all the awards that get handed out, in the world. But, you play a chairtopian. You're somebody who's completely in your chair. Yeah, that's what he calls them. And so your whole movement is, it's a very easy, relaxing VR game to play because you can stay seated the entire time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think that's the whole point that the game was giving you, to be a chairtopian in Chairtopia. And I'm not even sure if I can remember what Trover is supposed to be now, but he's just a purple guy from another planet, and we have to save the universe because one of the abstainers has gone crazy and stole my 2 dogs and put them in his eye holes.
Oh.
And the dogs are giving him ultimate power. So I don't know if you've seen like a trailer or whatever for Trover Saves the Universe. You know how he's got like the 2 little power babies that are in his eyes. So you're basically, you collect all these power babies. It's a platformer in VR. So it's taking like 3D platforming to a whole other level because you're very fixated where you are. Like, you can't roam freely, so you move Trover, and they'll have little light sources that you head towards, and then you hit the button, and it'll warp you to that spot. And the only movement you could do is turning with the joystick, or raising yourself up or down, so you can get like a more top-down view, which is kind of the only way that I could tell where the hell I was going at any given moment. And then he has a sword, and you pick up different things that you can do along the way, as far as, you know, fighting the little creatures that happen upon all of the different worlds that you go to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You collect power babies.
Interesting.
And you want to read all the descriptions for the power
Of
babies.
course.
Trust me. There's 30 in each level, with the exception, I think the last level there was 20, and then the credit scene has 10 that you can find as well. It was funny. It was just a good time. It's Justin Roiland. What can I say? You know, like, I played The Accounting. I played Rick and Morty. We've all probably watched Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. It's the same vein. I'm always so impressed, because, you know, it's just him and a couple of other improv actors just riffing in a studio, and then they edit it together, because there's no real, like, dialogue that happens back and forth, and he does such a good job of just run-on sentences just to fill time, like, so much so that you just are praying for Trover just to shut the up already. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like he never stops talking, and the audio never loops. It's not like I heard the same thing again. What? So it's just like you're constantly lost in this world, and he just keeps freaking talking about all of the things that are inappropriate for me to say on the podcast. So it's a good time if you find it on sale. I think it took me about 8 hours, so even a decent length for a VR game, which I wasn't expecting it to actually be that long. But apparently I missed a couple power babies, so I would assume if I go back and actually collect them all, 2 in each world. I'm so upset. One world I got them all. And he kept saying, I'll unlock something really cool for you at the end if you collect all the power babies. So do your best to try to get it the first time, because I don't know how dedicated I want to be to go through those 2 worlds, because he did say you have to do it all over
Understandable.
again.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe if I give it some time. But then I just played some more of that Overcrowd Commute 'em Up, and I'm actually got like to the 4th zone. I've only got 1 more to go, so I'm finally understanding the strategy, I think, now. And building my little subway station, and things are getting hectic, because now I have to have like 5 tracks going at any given time, and it's a very busy subway. And my employees, I never let them go home. They live there now. I just let them go in the break room overnight, because the thing is like, they'll get like depressed if they've been working too long, which is fair. I mean, if you've been out in the subway with people for like 12 hours, I'd get a little upset too, you know. And cleaning up after them and everything. But then they start crying, right? They're like, ooh, hoo, 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 is like what you hear. So you're like, fine. So if you send them home, they come back to work just as cranky as they left. So I'm like, why the hell am I sending them home? I just put them in the break room where I can see that they're playing arcade games, getting drinks and food, and feeling better. So I've just decided I'll pay the overtime throughout the night.
Huh.
Once my Subway started making money, I was just like, this seems like a no-brainer, because if I send you home, you're not coming back relaxed and rested. You're still at 79% depressed and hungry. And what are you doing when you were at home? What did you do? Nothing. Jesus. You did nothing.
Lacey.
So, yeah, I got a little angry.
You made me...
I'm trying to give you a day off.
You made my review look like an amateur, dude. Like, I was just like, I like killing Nazis, man. Who doesn't like doing that?
Who likes doing that? I mean, I probably could have killed off a few in the game. Who knows? You know. But yeah, so I mean, pretty much the same stuff that I described about the game last week. I've just now, I think, finally started to catch on, and I was dumb and didn't watch the YouTube tutorials like he specifically said to do in the email. Just putting that out there. It's 100% on me. But I tried to click on them in the game, and it wouldn't open up the link, so I assumed early access. Maybe it wasn't working. And then a streamer friend of mine, Nigellin, was also playing the game yesterday, and I noticed that she figured out how to rotate the screen, and I'm like, what black magic is this? And she's like, it was in the tutorial. And I'm like, oh, thanks for calling me out like that. So now that I can turn the screen, I'm like, oh my God, this makes building it so much better, because I thought I could only drag it up and down. I kept hitting all the things. And
that's like trying to play
so,
Wolfenstein without knowing how to reload.
Yeah, it was. I was making it work, but now this was probably why I was having such a hard time finding certain things in the corners. I just thought maybe it was focused to make me build in this direction. I thought that was part of the strategy. And when the link didn't work in the game, I was like, oh well, okay, I'll figure it out.
Steven, what about you?
So yeah.
Well, let's see. I think I lost my interest in that Godzilla Defense Force mobile game that I was talking about because
Oh yeah.
it went from
I felt like that
playing
would
it
be
every
short-lived.
day for hours on end until my phone died to I think I'm done. It ran its course. I mean, it's a mobile game for a reason. You
I
just
feel ya.
get
It
what you
happens.
can out of it. But I kind of, as far as on the console front, I went back to Spyro 2, played it for a little bit, and got a little farther. Of course, I ran into a challenge that frustrated me because it's just this bullshit challenge where you have to fly through a cavern and kill all these
we call
things.
it bullshit when we can't do it.
Okay, but no. All right, pay attention. This is how it goes.
All right, yeah.
You have to fly through this area, this cavern, while killing these little spiders, and you have to kill 18 of them all in one loop. You can't land, you can't fall, you can't run into anything. You've got to keep flying. But see, now you have to go up and over and down and farther and up, back and forth, and they're moving.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so you're just like, I don't know what I can do.
You're right.
So I thought maybe if I go back around and try it again.
On the, like a second loop through or a second
Yeah.
fly through? Not
Yeah,
a
because
thing, huh?
No, because as soon as I finally achieved it, they were just like, oh, that's good. But, my trophy didn't pop, so I was like, okay, fine. So
I'd be
I
done with it
stopped.
then too, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll come back to it when I feel more prepared. Because right now, all it's doing is making me angry. And speaking of getting angry, nostalgia is a hell of a drug because I got
Ooh.
sucked into Contra.
Oh yeah.
Did ya?
Because I'll go ahead and bring this up now. I think I had it into our news later. The Contra collection came out.
Yes.
It
You
was,
downloaded it, huh? You went all in on Contra.
I did because the game was announced during the I think it was Nintendo's E3, and then just like out now. And I'm like,
Yes.
out now, and I didn't even find that out until I talked to Todd. It was just like, oh, cool, it's coming out, and then he's like, oh, it's out now, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
weird.
Are you kidding? So.
And how's that treat?
A lot of Nintendo stuff was like now or gave us a firm release date, so that's good.
Yeah, and they released it exactly 2 weeks from the time I projected they would. It was supposed to be the 24th, not the 12th, bastards. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm happy that I got it, but plop down the money. You got Contra, and I'm like, haha, I'm going to get into this. And I went straight to the original NES version.
Yep.
Wanted to make sure the Konami code worked. It did. So I went through the game.
Oh, nice.
I'm good. That I did that this morning, and then I thought, okay, let's check out the other games.
Let me guess.
So,
Can I guess the one that you're pissed off at?
well, I mean, it's not just one.
So the rest.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
okay, they give you
Exactly.
30 lives on that one, and then if you go to any of the other games, you get 2 continues, and that's it.
No
Oh my
way.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's starting to ring bells. Like I'm remembering from back in the day. Yeah.
I'm-
And that's where I got
I'm
frustrated.
triggered just thinking about it, dude.
Because I started with.
Are you old enough to remember when there was no save games here?
Well, I mean,
I have to. I'm curious.
so I wasn't alive, no, but
okay.
I have experienced it since.
I've heard the old people complain about it. But anyway.
Well, I went to the arcade version, which I'd never played. And I thought, okay, an arcade version of Contra. Let's see what that's like. And they have, this is like a legit arcade. Like they just took the arcade machine because as soon as you boot it up, it has the glitchy screen, like it's loading it up
Oh, yeah?
and it's going through the motions. And then
Okay, that's
finally the
pretty
game
cool.
starts.
Does it have a neat
So-
little like frame on it, like you're actually playing in an arcade? You ever see those like
It's-
ports that sometimes do that?
Yeah. You can put one on there, and the screen is actually much more narrow than the NES game, which I thought was odd, but that might be just the design of the arcade game.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think about. But, yeah, you can put a panel around it, but not it's nothing that's going to make you say, "Oh yeah, this makes it feel like an arcade." It's just like,
Yeah, for sure.
It's the same 3 for every one of them.
And the same PlayStation 4 controller, but or
Right.
Switch controller. Sorry.
So I go through and I start playing, and obviously it's Contra, but graphics are slightly better. Music's questionable as to whether or not you want to say better or worse. That's your opinion. But I thought, since you can press the push pad and get credits. Okay, so what would that imply to you? I'm putting in credits. That's a quarter.
I get to play more.
Right. No.
no,
That
okay.
I hit it 100 times. Did not matter. I still only had 2 lives. And then when those lives went away, it said continue. So I thought, okay, well, this will just continue. No. After 2 or 3 times, done. Done.
Really?
Yeah,
I
walk away.
got to the last boss twice.
On
Twice.
2 continues? I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Okay? Twice.
but
And the son of a
still.
bitch killed me at the end. Game over. And I'm like, this is frustrating. So I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm not going to do this anymore. To myself. So I thought I would move on to the other games. Same thing just continued to happen. I was like, I can't do this.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe the old term is get good.
I felt like I was trying to get good, but apparently not.
Don't we always feel like that's what our goal is, the end goal?
Because in all fairness,
I tell you though, but like that's the thing I think is like as a kid, that's the reason why I probably didn't beat as many games because it was just like that would happen and the love for wanting to try a million times just dies and you're just like, well, this is just never going to happen.
Plus, I think financially, as a company, they had to be like, oh, we have to make it
Oh, well, they
so
charged
hard.
you to call like 900 numbers for tips and hints and stuff like
Right.
that. Or you subscribe to magazines that would come
Yeah.
in once a month and you would scour it for like your hint or tip for whatever. it was.
VHS
That's
tapes.
how you
that
did it. You
could,
didn't have the internet.
VHSs that you
You know?
could check out from Blockbuster and pop into the tape player, and they would
Nah, they weren't that advanced.
yeah.
8-tracks.
But I
It
mean,
was literally just like a 900 number that charged you like $1 a minute or some garbage like that.
Jeez.
But I mean, I think it would be fun to play with someone because that was something I was sitting there thinking as I was playing it. I was like, this would be fun to have someone right next to me playing the second player. Kind of do
I'm
it.
gonna-
See it. I mean, maybe I would have gotten through it with a second player. I don't know.
I'm going to agree with you there. Like, I definitely have, well, for one, a more fun time. Funner isn't a word, I
There you
don't think. A more fun time playing with somebody else when it comes to, like, Contra or Metal Slug or, any of those running guns. But, like, it also significantly, like, changes the game itself. Like, I feel like I can go much longer on 2 continues when I have a buddy with me. You know what I mean? Like when you both pick up the spread shot and you're just wrecking everything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So maybe if I got someone to play, see how far we got, maybe it'd change my mind. But I don't think so. I mean, solo, I think I don't want to feel like I wasted my money. But I got my Contra game. I beat it. I'm happy. I got it. I have a copy in my hands.
How's the
So I can
quality
look
of
at
the
that as a win.
collection though? Like, do you look at the collection fondly? Like when you pop it in, you feel like presentation and actually the ports and stuff like that. Do they work well? Because I've been thinking about picking up the Castlevania one.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to compare the two, how they put them together, they are identical as far as collection.
Gotcha.
Okay, they took the way it's all set up. The games are all on your right side as soon as you boot it up. The sound effects, the save action that they have, the option. That's the word I was looking for. Option. The save option you can do like I've been using in Castlevania. I would recommend the Castlevania collection because I feel like that save option would it really works to your advantage there to really get through it. I don't see how a save option could work for Contra because everything is just insanely just moving and going and there's no stopping.
Yeah.
So if I died and all you get is one hit, what is that going to matter? Okay, so I dodged this bullet. Next time I'm going to get hit 2 seconds later.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's just, I don't feel like it has a purpose that would really work in the same way it would for Castlevania.
I get you.
But I need to go back and finish Castlevania, but I just, Simon's Quest is not, I don't know. That one's not working for me, man.
No, that's very it's very convoluted and very arbitrary. Like the actions that you need to take are very just like it seems out of the blue and nonsensical, and you're like, this is, and the day and night cycle. Good God, I hope I hope they sped that up, because Jesus, if you play it on the original Nintendo, oh God, I'll probably skip that one though and go straight to Super Castlevania, because that game's the shit.
Yeah, that was the reason I bought the collection in the first place. Same with the Contra collection. I wanted the NES version, so
yeah,
I got the games I wanted. I just wanted to try out these other games because I don't remember playing them all that often when I was younger. So, but I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got for that. So we're doing things a little different today. Since all of our news is essentially E3, I have nothing before release dates. So we're going to jump to release dates real quick, and I'm going to go through those for everyone.
Taking care of business.
June 18th, yeah, let's get down to business first and foremost. On June 18th, we have Mini-Mech Mayhem for PSVR, Vacation Simulator for PS4, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for Xbox One,
Speaking
Luna
of Castlevania,
for PS4, yeah, Another Sight for Xbox One, Neverwinter Undermountain for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Jurassic World Evolution Claire's Sanctuary DLC for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, Mars Alive for PS4, and Citizens of Space for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Then on June 19th, we have Antique but Lost for Xbox One, and that's all we had for June 19th. How about that? On June 20th, June 20th, the first game we have here, I'm actually looking forward to. I haven't really spoken about it on the show yet, but the trailer I saw looked pretty interesting. It's called 1980X for PlayStation 4 and PC. It had an interesting vibe to it, so I'm going to have to look into it.
I'm unfamiliar.
I'll have to look that up. You said PC.
Yeah. Muse Dash for Nintendo Switch. My Friend Pedro for Nintendo Switch and PC. Wait a minute. I'm going to look through these because I see a lot of Nintendo Switches. Okay, so Scrap Rush for Nintendo Switch and PC. Then the rest are for Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
The rest for Nintendo Switch. Get ready. Catan Universe. Duke of Defense. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Slender, The Arrival. Forest Home. Boxing Champs. Gear Club Unlimited 2. DLC packs of all sorts. Mainlining. Lines X, and Secret Files 2, Purditas Cordis. All for Nintendo Switch. If you didn't catch that, then rewind.
The little 30-second button right there.
Mm-hmm. On June 21st, we have Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, The Sims 4 Island Living DLC for PC, Judgment for PS4, and Captain Cat for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. And finally, on June 23rd, The Sinking City for PS4.
I'm excited for that one, yeah.
So before we get into E3, how would you guys like to play Name That Game?
Yahoo! I got a cat jumping on my back. This is terrible.
Might help.
So I kept today's game short since I know we've got a lot of news, so I've only got 3. So, but I thought it would be fun to do.
I think that's a good round number overall. Anyway,
this was like one of my favorite parts of the last time I was on here.
Oh, it's a little different this time.
Oh no!
Yeah. All right, this time I'm going to tell you.
It probably might be easier. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. So this time, Name That Game is a twist on our other game. This time, I'm going to tell you what the game is. Then I'm going to give you 4 multiple choice options, and you have to tell me which of the titles it is.
All right.
Okay.
Steven's very creative, so sometimes it's pretty hard to tell.
All right. This is a relaxed action adventure game about a mysterious organization. Legend has it that a group of people have been eaten by meat because they ate too much meat. They can only resist. Yeah, I know. They can only resist the invasion of meat by continuing to be vegetarian. In order to survive, we must be vegetarian. Now, this is the adventure game you have ever played the longest knowledge. I did not write that. That is directly from the source.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You help the character to beat the meat in the level.
Yeah, you do.
Hell yeah.
By up, down, left, and right operations and get vegetables to replenish energy. At the same time, the game also has different grades of meat and vegetables waiting for you to challenge and absorb. Different vegetables will get different energy. When you have a Superman stunt, don't join us and challenge the greasy fat to win. It's mind-numbing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. What?
It's such a long description.
Who wrote this? Donald
I'm
Trump?
not done. I'm not done.
I know.
Do you want to know every bite of crispy fried chicken hides the hazard? Do you want to know how much burden your body will bring to your body? The game links are layered together and a series of experiences let you be there.
Oh, my God.
He's flipping the page, people. He's flipping the page.
This was too good not to read it all. The game produces vivid images with annoying pork belly, fried chicken, and big chicken legs, as well as carrots, greens, and other foods that we love. These images are both lively and cute, and people can't stop playing. While playing the game, you can learn the little knowledge about healthy eating and the philosophy of life.
Yeah.
It is a small game to relax your body and mind.
Okay.
It is better to eat medicine to make up the body than to eat medicine.
What?
When you play the game,
Oh, my God.
when you play the game, don't forget to eat more vegetarian food. Be careful to eat with braised pork. Now,
So this is why he had 3 today, because each one takes 20 minutes to describe. Okay.
So don't be careful eating braised pork, but be careful while eating with braised pork, as if they were sitting
while it's
across
joining
the
you
table.
for dinner.
Yeah,
just let it sitting
of
at
course,
the table.
because
yeah.
that happens. Oh,
That's
my
what you
God.
do. Okay,
So-
so our options.
is this A, beat your meat,
Oh,
B,
please, God.
vegetarian alliance, C, no fat, all green, or D, carnivores must die?
I'm going with beat the meat. I think it's A or B, but I'm going with beat the
Well,
meat.
I have to contest your choice. It's got to be B. It's got to be the Vegetarian Alliance or whatever it's fucking called.
both seem. I mean, they said beat the meat in the description. They both said vegetarian in the description. I'm going
Steven,
with
have
beat
you
the
played this game? Have you seen gameplay? Do you know? Like, does it look all right?
No, I have not. No. I mean, I saw screenshots.
I mean, I feel like we've played the entire.
Because I'm gonna pre-order
Yeah.
it. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, the answer is B, vegetarian alliance.
It was a 50-50, you know?
It
Like,
was.
you
I
know.
told you I was between the two, but I just badly
Fair,
wanted it to
fair.
be A.
Okay, next one. After falling into toxic waste, a normal bear mutates into a giant angry monster bear with superpowers.
Oh. Twist.
Destroy everything in your sight to win. The only problem is humans will defend themselves with guns, bombs, rockets, and lasers.
Okay.
Like
Destroy
we do.
buildings. Yeah. Destroy buildings to cause property damage to unlock the next levels, all while surviving waves of enemies and overcoming obstacles like boulders and shield generators.
Sounds like
Explore
Rampage.
the levels. Sort of. Explore the levels to find mutation points, which can be spent on unlocking superpowers and super attacks. Is this A, Giant Bear Rampage,
Oh.
B, Grizzled Rage, C,
I like
Smash 'em Bear Claws, or D, the Jellystone Park Massacre?
See, I feel like B is creative, ergo I think it's Stevens. So, but I don't know. I've been duped once, I think, before that way.
They're all believable. Steven, you sly dog.
I always tend to lean towards the one that I feel is the most garbage.
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
sometimes they don't put more thought into the name of the game. Crap.
I don't think it's D.
What was the last one? Something about bear claws?
Oh, that was C, Smash 'em Bear Claws.
I like that one. That was just so ridiculous.
I think I'm going to go with A. It feels
A?
like it's the most generic of them all.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
could,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Okay.
I wouldn't go with my gut though, Garrett. I'm really bad.
No,
at this game.
I can't agree with you. Otherwise, it's not exciting. I've got to.
How do you have a winner?
Exactly. Yeah. If we pick the same things, then nobody
I usually
wins.
get one.
Shit. I'm going with Smash and Bear Claws.
Okay.
I just can't. I love that one.
The answer is A, Giant Bear Rampage.
Yep. Yeah, fair.
All right, the tiebreaker.
You son of a bitch.
Tiebreaker.
That's my one. Trust me. You get this one, you're good.
Okay, here it is, the last one.
All right.
Do you dare to play this game of strategy and act and difficulty, leisure and comedy? Perhaps in the near future, though, through painstaking practice of this mini sadistic game, you will become a real man.
Oh,
In the game,
my God.
you will need to click the left mouse button to suffer smoothly. With the efforts of our development team, we have not succeeded in men. It is really hard to get to 100 floors. However, there are 21 lovely characters in the game waiting for you to unlock them.
Oh, thank God.
If you can. This is a leisure and entertainment dessert if you like to torture yourself. Don't miss it.
Okay, I'm not even sure I even understand what's
I
going
know.
on. Like, you put words together.
no
I did.
I-
They did. I just read them.
So this is a dating simulator floor by floor?
It's a Leisure
or something?
Suit Larry.
Like at a hotel?
Dungeon crawler. I have no idea. Oh my God.
All right.
But you have to learn how to be a man. All right, okay.
Okay. So, is it A, hit the floors, bruh? B, only pussies don't reach the top.
Ooh. Is this...
C, did you tap 100? Hashtag me too. Or, or D, real man got 100.
Okay, so
I have
question.
mine, for
did
sure.
Riot Games put this out?
I mean, it seems like up their wheelhouse.
Topical.
Oh.
I definitely have mine for sure.
Okay, one more time. What was the names? I feel like I want to go hashtag me too one because that's so controversial, and I feel like
Right.
games like shovelware like this on Steam would do that just to get
Yeah.
some sort of Twitter hype so they can get their free publicity.
So fucking edgy, dude.
But the pussies one sounds pretty good too. I'm gonna go with what was the one with the hashtag?
Did you tap 100? Hashtag me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because it's gross.
Okay, I'm not gonna go with that one. But Lord, I hope it's that one because I hope, Steven, you didn't come up with it. You son of a bitch.
You never know. He's just going along with what the game
I know.
was doing.
That's why it's so good. Oh, fucking hell. I'm going D. I'm going D. Steven, don't fail me.
The answer is D. Real man got 100.
Steven!
Real man
Steven,
got
you
100.
came up with that? God.
I did.
I would have also accepted Fap
It's
House.
so good, though. It was like, oh.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I'm simultaneously...
I gotta keep everybody on their toes, man.
That's true.
I'm simultaneously impressed and pissed off.
all the emotions.
Okay, well, if you didn't know already, this is our third E3 we've covered on this show, with the first, or our first being our second show that we ever recorded. So officially, we've hit our 2-year mark of this show. And it's interesting to see how everything's kind of evolved over the time with E3, but that's a conversation for another day. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there because it's anniversary time. Thank you.
Happy anniversary, Steven.
Now, right now, let's dive into the announcements
Let's do
from
it.
some of the unveilings of E3. And I think we'll start with a few of the little things, and then we'll really dive deep into the big,
The stuff we know we're probably going to be talking about.
Sure.
That everybody has been.
So I feel like a lot of these kind of went, were glossed over. No one really talked about them, but they were things that happened kind of during E3. Kicking things off in this category would be the official launch date of the Atari VCS. Pre-orders are actually live now from Atari, GameStop, and even Walmart, with a release in March of next year.
Well,
And-
you were right about one thing. I have no idea what the fuck that is, so...
You've never heard of the Atari VCS?
Nope. I've heard of an Atari.
Aw.
I don't know what a VCS is.
This is their virtual, what do they call it? Virtual console system, virtual computer system. It's essentially their way of reviving the Atari brand, but it's not just going to be like a mini of kind of what Nintendo has done and everyone else has done. This is a way to play old Atari games, but there's going to be an open door for indie developers to make games for their new console.
All right.
So it's a
All
legit
right.
console.
Okay. No one's going to do that.
No. Now,
Not for a while, anyway. We'll have to see
now
how
if
it
you were
goes.
if you were one of the Indiegogo supporters, you will actually receive your Atari sometime this year. And announced alongside the targeted release date was a wide price range starting with a base model with a 4 gigabyte RAM, but no controllers for
Okay.
$249.99.
What a...
Not even one controller?
No controllers.
4 gigabytes? There- what?
But hang on.
Well, Atari games, though,
I guess.
But hang on.
they're like a half a megabit.
But you could also
apiece.
kick them out like fucking 15 in a day, right? Like...
But see, for $30 more, you can get the 800 model, which also has no controllers, but you get double the RAM at 8 gigabytes. So you'd
Okay,
be better
so how
off
are we
going for
playing
the
these
30.
games?
You have to have...
With our mind?
Yeah, you have to have
Well-
pre-existing Atari fucking paddles for it?
No, you can also buy the controllers. You can go for the classic joystick for $49.99 or the modern controller for $59.99.
Like a regular PlayStation, Xbox controller.
They haven't said
Version.
anything about support for other controllers.
Well, no, I mean like that kind of controller.
Yeah, it
where it's got,
kinda
like, the
has a-
joysticks and
Well, the classic joystick, that's like the old Atari joystick.
Yeah,
right
with
with the one
button.
button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they have a modern style controller that looks like Xbox and Switch.
Right.
They're
Okay, that's what I
rounded.
was wondering. Yeah.
So you can do that.
So...
But
go ahead.
you can go all in. You can go all in, get the VCS 800 classic joystick modern controller for $389.99. Bam!
Just
get
bu-
it all.
Buy an Xbox One.
That's more than the first
Buy
console.
an Xbox One X and be done with it. Don't touch Atari.
Right?
But you see, there's a bonus.
Oh,
There's
is
a
there?
bonus. Yeah, there's a bonus. You see, each retailer is offering a very unique design of the console, with GameStop offering up a nice onyx color. Walmart has a Kevlar gold. And then the big selling point is going to be Atari themselves with that retro black walnut design that everyone, I
yeah.
said earlier, nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Oh,
let me
yeah.
tell you.
The coveted...
That's what's going to sell.
The coveted wood panel
grain.
one. Yeah. I've got the 2600 on a shelf. I never break it out, but it looks good sitting there. That's for sure.
It does.
So-
It has a nice design to it.
Yeah, and I got that for $20. I don't need a $400 one to look good on a shelf. All right.
Well, there you have it.
So I can
folks.
play E.T. All right.
If they bring
Arguably
that
the
back,
best game ever.
Steven, you seem like you're resistant to talk shit about it. Are you a bit
Well,
excited?
Not really, no, because I do remember playing those games, and I remember being frustrated at ET, saying, "What is the point here?" And I was young when that came out, and I was just like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm just not getting the purpose of the game. I thought I just didn't understand it. No, it was literally a shitty game, and I just didn't realize it at the time.
Through
But-
the lens of a kid's eye.
But I guess what I'm curious about is I want to see how this goes. Because Atari, they have not been in the console game for a decade.
Well, I mean,
or more.
Atari's not even the Atari that we grew up with. Somebody bought that name, yeah? So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
even... Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
I'm
not
just
the same
curious.
company.
I mean, could this transform? Because right now, no, I don't think it's going to do any damage to anybody.
Not
But
at
I'm
that price
curious.
point. I'm
No,
sorry,
but
that's way too high.
I guess I just want to see if there will be a niche audience that just helps it grow, because we don't know what else they're going to add to it. And
Maybe if there's enough Gen Xers out there that are real nostalgic, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. It would be interesting to see.
Yeah, to me, I feel like you can pick up one of the like Atari classics or whatever they're called, the little like 20, 30 and ones for $50, and like nobody who's feeling nostalgic for Atari games is gonna want to program Atari games, in my opinion. Like.
I feel like I could find an old TV for cheaper than that and plug in your old Atari.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to pull some
Personally.
Epic Games type money to kind of get some exclusives to even
what
make
are the
it
specs
worthwhile. I don't
on this
have
thing?
them.
Yeah, because that would be my next stop. Is like, what is the future of third parties making games for this? That would be when I would actually start to offer my 2 cents on it, when I see how all this kind of develops. But based off of this
I think
info, I don't
also people who indie developers who make games, they're not going to release their shit onto some $400 Atari. You know what I mean? Like, they would prefer to make a retro game independently of that and then release it everywhere else, right?
Sure.
I don't.
Like I
So-
said, I would have to look into it more to see what this.
I'm sorry, Atari,
Yeah,
but I I'm skeptical.
I just want to see. Yeah, I just want to see what it's. I just want to see what happens. I guess that's all I'm saying. In a nutshell.
Fair. No, fair.
But while we're on the subject of retro, another mini console has been announced into the world. Konami announced the release of the TurboGrafx Mini. You remember that? You remember that thing?
No, I don't actually.
No.
Because
And I would have been your only hope here,
No.
I think.
I was born
Most
in
people don't.
'93. Like,
Yeah, you missed
I'm
all
a
of it.
baby.
yeah, well,
It was a bit.
you see, that's why you don't know it, because it was literally one of the first casualties during the Nintendo Sega Wars.
Yeah.
It was one of those consoles that tried to eke its way in and then was easily slain because those were the giants at the time. So it did have a devout cult following in a way. People really dug some of the games that were on theirs. But they're going to release this thing, which is, same as all the others. A miniaturized version of the console, has the classic controllers wired in. No price or release details have technically been mentioned, but it will have a few games that they kind of announce that will be coming to it.
What we got?
The few that they listed, they have R-Type, New Adventure Island, Ninja Spirit, Yes Book 1 and 2, Dungeon Explorer, and Alien Crush. Now, what I find interesting about this list is Bonk's Adventure seems like it should be on this list because that was their
What's their mascot?
their Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was essentially their big guy. So I think it will be on there before it's all over with, because not only is this coming out, but in Japan they are getting the PC Engine Mini, which is essentially their version of the TurboGrafx, and then Europe is getting the PC Engine Core Graphics Mini, and they have Bonk's Adventure listed on their game list. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I'd bet we'll see it.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of Konami, they announced Contra Rogue Core, which is the first new entry into a Contra franchise in at least 10 years, unless you want to count Hardcore, Uprising, and countless mobile ports, but I don't.
Yeah.
Do we,
Yeah,
though?
we don't count those.
Nah.
I love me some classic Contra. Contra 3 Alien Wars is awesome. Like, it's hard as shit, but it's awesome. But I'm not gonna lie, and the aesthetic, the nasty monsters, the guy picking up the damn propeller of the helicopter and trying to take off, that would like normally I'd be down for that. But this game kind of looks like dog ass. I'm not like
Yeah,
it looks rough.
Considering it has the Contra name on it, and then you see a game that is not what you would particularly relate to that franchise. Because, again, as I said earlier, I went through all the games today. And we're talking from arcade to Genesis and even Japanese and European ports. And even when they replaced in the European versions, they replaced the characters with robots, it still felt like Contra.
Yeah.
But this was the I think the top down isometric view, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
It's got that look to it. Doesn't have the side scrolling run and gun, and then like you said, just some of the balls to the wall craziness that just doesn't feel right. So I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's a bit strange looking. Like, with the recent boom in like retro gaming and like retro inspired gaming, like you would think that just a new Contra with the exact same aesthetic as like Alien Wars would do well. You know what I mean? Like the 8-bit.
Yeah.
Like they could just kick it off to some indie developer who makes like Ninja Gaiden clones in his spare time, and he could make the best Contra game since, well, probably a real Contra game. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, it seems like...
Well, if anyone is looking forward
Rough.
to it, you will get your chance to play it on September 24th when it releases on all platforms.
September is going to be a busy month.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
And then a few little quickets on the random stuff we had here. There was a Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga game was announced, combining all 9 movies. So I'm assuming that will be out after Episode 9.
That would make sense.
Because I don't think they gave a release date that I saw. And then finally, there was and if you guys think of anything that fits into this category, by all means chime in, because I did so much digging this week that everything started to blend together.
Yeah.
I hear that, man. Oh, God.
So I feel like I'm going to miss
boy.
something. If I do, I apologize. But there was a new trailer showcased, and I remember seeing this trailer or a trailer for this game sometime back. Seemed a little nuts, but I think I kind of want to play it now. It's called Maneater, where you play as a shark.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I missed
Yeah,
this
it's
one.
like an action RPG where you play as a shark who savages swimmers and animals alike.
Huh.
And it's just that, but it looks...
It's exact.
kinda
Yeah, it
fun.
looked exactly like
Yeah,
that. Did you
that
ever
sounds
remember a multiplayer game called Depth
No.
that came out? I don't know. It was a few years back. And that's kind of what it reminded me of. But the one that I'm talking about is multiplayer. So several of you would play sharks. Several of you would play like scuba divers. And then your goal as the shark was to, kill the scuba divers. And if you were the scuba diver, you were supposed to collect like the treasure and all this kind of stuff before.
The shark got you. Yeah.
Yeah, before the shark got it. Yeah. And so, but now you don't have it as, other people playing the stuff. It's like you're just this shark going through killing everything.
That sounds
in
pretty
weird
therapeutic.
areas.
Like just
Yeah.
eating fuckers.
I mean, who doesn't want to play as Jaws,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
for
they
sure.
tried doing that before, and that game was just atrocious. But, hey, if this is just giving us the basics, sure, I'll give it a go. Why
Right.
not?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Okay, so let's dive into Bethesda, because I know we've all been waiting to talk about it. First of all...
I mean...
First of all, I'm sure a lot of people were curious how it was going to go this year because, Fallout
Sure.
76 was such a big hype machine last year.
I
and
have
then
to applaud him for even going up there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like with the way this year had gone, had he passed the torch for someone else, I would have understood.
Sure.
I would not have judged him for it.
Now, what was
we
surprising-
would have.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have,
But after that failure, they doubled down on said failure with 2 additions to their game, which we had the free DLC called The Wastelanders, which adds a slew of NPCs to combat the lack of things to do in the game. I guess that was the major complaint.
Yeah, like there wasn't like a lot of quests or anything. Like things would ding as you walked into a specific area, like any MMO, grind this out, kill this many things, blah, blah, blah,
Sure. And then the second was no surprise to me, because this is what we do nowadays. A 52-person battle royale mode dubbed Nuclear Winter.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm never going to play this game, so
No.
All I gotta say.
No, and I mean, I don't know. Like, battle royale is big right now, so maybe that could help. I don't know the community. I don't know if that's something that had been being asked for. If I'm being fair, like I know we can sit here and be like, seriously, another battle royale, but we don't know if that's what the players that are still playing.
I definitely
for.
don't think we're in the minority here. Like,
Sure.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Speaking for people who still play it.
Yeah.
Like they still have a following. There are still some people out there that actually really enjoy
Sure.
Fallout 76, and that's fine, I mean, I feel like I run in enough circles that I would have heard, but I mean, I don't know if this is a Hail Mary pass to try to get people to come back to the game.
What's weird is like the way they announced it too. Like he came off like he thought he was so cool. Like he was like, we got a
a
fucking battle royale, and it's like, dude, it's like, I don't know, and it's half as many players as every other battle royale has. It's like, what's going
server
on?
space.
Server space.
Yeah.
You're Bethesda.
That's probably enough space for the people that are still playing the game.
Fair enough. Okay. Savage.
Outside
I
of
know
that,
what's on me today. Wow. I'm attacking all the pips.
outside
This is
of
what
that,
happens when I get sleep, Steven, when I'm not awake for
I'm
an hour
sorry.
before we start. No, it's fine.
But outside of that, I think a lot of fans of Bethesda, the four of them that there are, were hoping for something big, like an Elder Scrolls 6 announcement.
Nah.
But, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Todd.
Well, I mean, technically they did last year.
Yeah,
I think people
were
call
wanting to
that's a
see
bare
that.
minimum of an announcement.
Well, he basically was just saying, look, people, we are working on it. Simmer down.
And he
'Cause,
did.
like,
He did repeat that again this year. It's happening.
Yes.
We're working. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we do know, we have seen behind the scenes works. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's just, it'll be many, many years
My
from
girl
now.
Shirley Curry's going to be in it.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
That's right. But they did announce a few Elder Scrolls games or DLCs and things. Yeah. They had Elder Scrolls Online. Got an announcement for some new DLC called Elsewhere and Scalebreaker.
Dragons.
Then there was the free-to-play Elder Scrolls Blades, which was the mobile-type game, was it? Or was
Yeah.
that the other one? Yeah, that was the...
I feel like that's the right one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they said that this Elder Scrolls Blades will be on all platforms except the Switch, but there will be a release later on down the line in the fall.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I'd hope
working
so.
on it.
Jesus.
So if you're excited about that,
Now, if there's one
you
thing
have a
Bethesda
Switch.
likes to do is put their games everywhere
Yeah.
and resell it. So it'll definitely be on the Switch for sure.
I can't wait for Blades on my my Zune MP3 player.
Right?
You laugh. They might be working on that.
Don't jinx
You
us.
never know. Hey, we've seen Cuphead on Tesla at Fallout Shelter is coming
That's
to
true.
Tesla.
That's true.
That's right.
That's what we need.
So another game that they showcased, and I think this one was one I was a little bit more excited for, would be Doom Eternal.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
showed-
Oh, hell yeah.
Fast-paced, frenetic action gameplay.
Exactly
added-
what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of cool new moves, which is really neat.
fucking, I've got, I guess it's 3 words. Wait, maybe the first part is one word. Maybe it's hyphenated. I'm not sure. But all I had to see was grappling hook shotgun, and I was like, "Fuck yes!"
Yeah.
I was like,
That was awesome.
I'm gonna shit my pants when I get that." Like that's all I've ever wanted in life. Grappling hook shotgun.
I think that's where they really amped it up. What they were showcasing is just all the new clever ways you can get around and
Right.
off your demons. I mean, it was just a lot of craziness. You're like, oh, yeah.
They've got those new
So-
poles in the level that you can swing off of and stuff and get height, and I'm just like, okay, I can't wait. Like I'm super excited
Yeah.
for Doom.
So the battle mode was a new thing that they showcased, which is a multiplayer first-person fighter where you get to duke it out as a demon with another player. So that's kind of interesting.
That sounds kind
Could
of
be
fun.
fun, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The game will
I'll
release.
goof around.
Sure. The game will release on November 22nd. Fans can get their hands on a collector's edition featuring a life-size helmet of the Doomslayer. So if you ever wanted one of those helmets, there you go.
For $300.
Now you can.
Probably. Now,
A lot of these collector's editions are getting insanely expensive.
while we're talking about Doom, I'm going to throw this out here since there was really nowhere else to talk about it. There's a little rumor floating around that suggests that we may be seeing the Doomslayer as one of our DLC characters in Mortal Kombat 11.
And I will be happy for this.
Because this would burst all theory surrounding Ash Williams because chainsaws.
It's true. Yep.
My heart!
I know.
It would make me at least feel better to know he didn't lie to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually kind of like the idea of him trolling us. Like, okay.
Oh,
hear
I
me
totally
out,
felt like that
because
was absolutely the case. Honey, he's my future ex-husband. I totally
Bruce
am
is
aware of the fact that he would troll
Bruce
us
is a
like
silver
hardcore
fox.
that way.
Like,
I'm waiting for him to be like, oh, see, I said it wasn't the Evil Dead Ash.
Right.
I never said Ash versus Evil Dead Ash or Evil Ash.
yeah, I'm
You know?
comfortable with my
Like,
sexuality enough to say he is a silver fox, and I'm into Zaddy Bruce. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, all he needs is a good personality.
I would prefer Ash, but Doom Guy is a close second for sure.
Oh, I mean, if we had choices, I'm just
Absolutely.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
But good.
grappling hook shotgun in Mortal Kombat? That sounds awesome.
Oh, that would be a fatality and a half.
Yeah.
So, last little quickets for Bethesda. There was a new game called Ghostwire Tokyo announced.
People are
see
excited
much-
about that.
Okay,
Actually, looks sick. I think it's made by the guys who created The Evil Within. So if you're a fan of that series, pay attention, I guess. It looks like I have no idea what it's gonna be. Obviously, like they didn't show enough for me to be like, oh, I'm interested in the gameplay because they didn't show anything. But like what I saw, like
A lot of it we didn't.
yeah, the character designs and overall atmosphere I thought was pretty neat.
We also got an announcement for a new Commander Keen game for mobile devices. I'm not familiar with the series, so I didn't really have a dog in that race. I was just like, cool,
It's
I guess.
Not
it
either.
was the first like I've never played them and I don't think I care to, but it was the first the game created by id Software, so the guys who originally created Doom.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, it's weird, right? This like bubbly, pink, friendly, kidly, platformer, and then they are like, "Wow, we're making fucking Doom."
Sure. Garrett, this one's for you. There's a new
hell yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood trailer was shown. That game releases on the 26th of July.
Yeah.
And we also got a brief glimpse of Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is the VR companion to the game.
Yeah, I'm excited to pick. And they're releasing at great prices too. Youngblood is releasing at $40, and Cyberpilot's releasing at $20. So like, for the price of a full-fledged game, you're getting two, and one's a VR experience. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Arcane Studios, best known for the Dishonored series, released or revealed a new game called Deathloop, which didn't really
Yeah,
seem...
that one's the only one from their showcase that actually had me interested. But again, there was no gameplay, so I'm going to wait.
Right.
Yeah.
But the concept seemed, I'm like, all right, let's see.
The concept
Let's
is
see.
interesting. I definitely bit. Like I was like, okay, well, let's see what.
I'm going to look
yeah,
into
for
it.
sure.
And finally, id Software showcased their own cloud-based service called Orion, which is touting a frame rate 20% faster at 40% lower bandwidth. So I consider their hat being thrown into this ring of...
Ever-growing ring.
but it's
My God,
odd,
is it getting large.
Of all people, id Software. I mean, with Google, that was understandable. Microsoft, understandable. Sony, understandable. id Software, out of the blue, just, yeah, we're in.
Yeah, I don't.
We don't know what they got going on up their sleeve.
We don't.
You know?
Yeah, I don't.
So-
I don't understand it either. Because I mean, how successful is id Software? Like Rage 2
Yeah.
didn't really do numbers, did it? Like, I don't think.
Maybe they hired some big fancy.
Well, I don't
know.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the very, very brief news I have from Bandai Namco, because they only had a few things to bring up, but there was one big announcement, which was their confirmation of Elden Ring and the upcoming fantasy action RPG from Dark Souls creator Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, who people know as the author of the Ice and Fire series that inspired Game of Thrones. No release date or window has been announced, but it was indicated to be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So
I'm sure we'll hear about that next gen, because it looks like they've got nothing to show.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even the trailer or whatever it was for was just basically to kind of, I guess, give us a feel for what era the game was going to be in, maybe a feel for a genre to a sense, but like, you didn't see anything, right? Yeah. We didn't really know. It's just that guy rose up, and it all seems mythical.
I feel like
all this kind of
all
stuff.
they really had to do was say the three names: director, writer, and then the title. Like, that's all they had to do. And I feel like the Dark Souls community and Soulsborne community is massive, and they have their copies sold. Like, they don't need to. They didn't even need to be at E3. They don't need to talk to Nintendo fans and Bethesda fans. They have their market. It's done. Like, those copies are confirmed.
I think they
But
probably
it's E3,
did this.
you know.
I think they probably did this just to quell that rumor, because it was already kind of out there, and they're just like, just tell
because
everybody
I know we
about
had been talking about it for a little bit too, but we had nothing set in stone.
So I think they just wanted to shut it down and be like, "Yep, it's happening. You can stop speculating or whatever."
We even did a thing for you to look at. See?
Regardless, it's probably going to be fantastic.
Pictures.
I mean, how could it not be? Honestly, like, it seems like a shoe-in for Game of the Year already. You know what I mean?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna say like 4 years from now. That's gonna be my guess, because it feels very, very early,
True,
right?
Yeah.
The only other things that I had jotted down that they really announced of note, they announced a new game called Tales to Arise, and then a remaster of Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch for all platforms, which is a fun little game if you've never played it. So I would recommend it.
Tales of Arise looked actually super dope, though. Like the whole art style, I was like, that's really cool. The motherfucker pulls a flaming sword out of his like friend's chest, and I was like, okay, what the fuck? Like, that's some weeb shit I could get into.
So now we're going to talk about our other favorite company, EA.
Yeah.
I
should have wrote down who did what games. Like, I wrote down games.
That's fine. It's fine.
And then I forgot to write down who the publisher was for a lot of it. But all I remember, blah, 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 EA, blah, 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 EA, Sims is getting an expansion pack in a week.
Well,
that was my takeaway.
their real big announcement, I think the only game anyone was really looking forward to seeing anything about was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Absolutely. So we did have a 15-minute demo of gameplay, which I would assume kind of is at the beginning of the game, if I was to guess.
It seemed kind of boring for some gameplay trailer, you know what I mean?
Well, they probably couldn't show a whole lot. I don't know. Like, how much are they trying to keep it close to the vest?
Yeah, we saw the game's protagonist, Kestis. I think that's what they're calling him.
I think so, yeah.
Kestis. That sounds about right.
Is that the guy who plays Ian Gallagher?
Who?
Or Gotham, I guess maybe
Gotham.
you guys would know him as. The play the Joker.
That guy.
Or pre-Joker,
is it that guy?
I know him. Yeah. See, I know him from that.
I was kind of like, I know that guy.
Mm-hmm. So,
see, I never watched Gotham, but I watched Shameless.
Yeah, I don't watch Gotham.
So I'm like, oh, wait.
Hey, that's a trend this year,
then,
huh? Putting actors into games.
Celebrities are in games, man.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't Forrest Whitaker in like one of them, too?
Yeah,
well, yeah, I'm getting to that.
Is he in this one,
I'm
right?
sorry. We're jumping all over the place. We got to let Steven talk.
Anyway.
He's like, why do I make notes? Throws them away.
Cal is traversing Kashyyyk. He's climbing walls, running, jumping, fighting, kind of doing some force powers and blocking and stuff, and it could be kind of cool, but I mean, I guess it's your definition of what you think is cool.
Yeah.
Because there are some pretty cool moves in there, but
People
at the
are
same time, it's
excited.
just like, okay. I wasn't like jumping out of my seat going, oh my God, I got to play this right now. There were just moments and there was like, okay. We also got to see BD1 in action, which is his buddy droid. Get it?
Aha.
BD. Ah. So he was doing things like pulling up maps, and I think he helped unlock doors or something. So he's just kind of hanging about on his back for the most
And funny quips, of course, as you're
yeah.
traversing.
I think
I'm
he
sure.
I think he force throws the droid at somebody in one part or something. Like, I was like, oh Jesus, like that's crazy.
It's like, that's vicious.
Yeah.
Now, the demo, as Lace mentioned, kind of featured a known Star Wars character, Saw Gerrera, who was first introduced in the Clone Wars animated series, portrayed by Forrest Whitaker here, who played him in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that this is going to be somewhere in between, I guess, before Rogue One.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah,
If you've seen
after
Rogue One.
episode 3, maybe. They didn't really tell us exactly when, so you just kind of, based on him being there, based on what's going on, you can kind of get a sense of where this lies in the timeline. But the game is set to release on November 15th of this year, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. So if you're excited, get ready to be disappointed.
You don't know, but we
I
might
don't want to
know.
be disappointed. I want to hear that this is one of the greatest Star Wars games since Knights of the Old Republic.
I understand your apprehension.
Fingers crossed.
I understand.
I think they're starting off pretty well.
EA poops the bed a lot, so I know.
I think Star Wars focuses too much on the already established characters. So a new guy in here, kind of kicking around.
New storyline.
I'm like, cool. That's what I
Yeah.
want. Let's move on. Let's get going.
Sure. A few quick hits from EA. Respawn showcase Season 2 of Apex Legends with new weapons, skins, and an engineer, which people seem to be excited about. So
Excellent.
that comes out on July 2nd. Then the Sims 4 island living thing that we kind of mentioned before. Battlefield 5's getting
They can tan again.
Yeah. Because that's important. And
That was the first question I asked.
Okay.
I'll have you know.
And then Battlefield 5's getting new maps, and FIFA 20 is coming because
FIFA's huge, man.
we need more soccer.
FIFA is huge, but like,
You have to understand, Steve, we're like the only country that's not huge into soccer or football.
I'm not
as
huge
it's
into
really called. We're
sports,
like the only
period.
country.
but like,
I'm just saying, like, it's worldwide. It's a big sport.
my
man.
only question is why'd they take out a spot in E3 for it? It's like, we know.
Because it's their hugest moneymaker,
But-
really. I mean, EA makes so much money off of FIFA. It's
But we
kinda
know it's going to
ridiculous.
come every year. We don't need a big reveal. Like, duh.
Filler.
It's like telling us that Madden's going to come out. Like, fucking.
They had
yeah.
nothing else to show. They needed something.
Yeah.
So just make a big show for FIFA, please.
Yeah.
And Star Wars.
Fill up the show. So let's move on to Microsoft because they had a pretty big
actually had
show.
a decent show.
Yeah, they did a pretty
I know
big
it's
show.
debatable, but I enjoyed
I feel like they only had a decent show because Sony wasn't there. I think a lot of those developers who aren't designing specifically for Microsoft would have been spread out a little bit, and it probably
Could have been, yeah.
it probably would have been evened out. To me, anyway. That's how it felt.
I mean, that's a fair point, for sure. So let's start off with their biggest announcement. I don't really feel like it was an announcement per se, but the fact that they even brought it up would have been Project Scarlet,
Yeah.
because we had no signs of a new console. We didn't know that they were even going to bring this up, and they did.
Well, we knew, but we didn't have
but we
proof.
didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
normally when
They
they do
didn't
this
say it,
stuff, they have a console to show, and they're like, "Oh, let's talk about it." But no, they went
Oh.
ahead of time and just said, "All right, look, here's what's going to happen. We've got," and these were their specs they laid out: 8K capability with up to 120 frames per second, ray tracing, variable frame rate, virtual RAM SSD, and the promise of zero load time. It is said to be 4 times powerful than the Xbox One X, and, this is huge, it will be backwards compatible with every single Xbox. So Xbox One, 360, original Xbox, every game you've ever had, if you still got them on your shelf,
that's a
you
big
can
promise, man.
play them here. And I feel like that's bold claim.
That's really big.
And it's going to be $1,000.
They had to one up PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, most of the stuff you rattled off, PlayStation already announced for the most part. Maybe give or take like a spec here or there. But, I mean, it was word for word almost.
But they didn't go on that backward compatibility thing that far back. They said 4.
No, that's the only difference, really.
Yeah. So that's it.
I feel like that's why they announced it. They kind of had to because PlayStation already did and kind of got that hype built up. And they're like, all right. Because, they always seem to kind of plan it about the same time with the new, maybe one comes out a month or 2 before the other. So that's why I had a feeling we'd hear about a new Xbox.
I felt like them announcing it felt very just like, they're like,
we had to let you know.
Exactly. It's like, what's the checklist? What do we say? We're like, immersive, more powerful. It's like, well, no shit, dude. Like, exactly. Like, it's like your new console. Like, actually, we're going back to the 360. That's the new thing. Like, that wasn't gonna happen. Like,
this is how you get backwards compatibility.
It's E3 sometimes I feel like brings the worst out of me. Like I get so frustrated with companies because like I feel like they're all like so fucking fake all the time. And like and I feel like
I can turn that part of my brain off and just like watch and see what's
I feel like I've
coming
been
out,
complaining about like everything at E3.
I had some fun ones, but anyway, so was there more on the Scarlet?
Well, outside of that, they mentioned Halo Infinite will be their launch title, and outside of everything else, which I was a little surprised about, they did guarantee that they are going to release it holiday of next year, so I'm sure next year at E3, that's when we're going to get to see it, so it's coming, it's happening.
Yeah.
So we got that. They also unveiled their long-rumored addition to the Game Pass. They've got the Ultimate Game Pass, which combines their live service, Game Pass service, and
computer,
their PC Game Pass service. All
Which
into Go ahead.
It's awesome. Like I feel like that was like I was like, okay, that's fucking cool. Like.
Yeah.
Thanks, Microsoft. Like, it's sick.
I know. You did. You kind of did PCs long before Xbox, but whatever. Forget about us.
So it's $14.99. You get all this stuff good, even if you don't have an Xbox. I mean, you can still get the Xbox Game Pass for PC at $4.99. So $5. That's pretty good. They listed off a few games that you can play.
And you can buy it for $1 to start, just to let you know.
The
like
first
they
month right
do.
now, is $1. You got Halo, Gears 5.
I think it's for 3 months, actually.
Really?
My note only said the first month.
If it's like their other Game Pass, it was $1 for 3 months.
No, it said just for the first month. That's what I read.
Okay.
That's what I put down in my notes. But you got Halo, you got Forza, you got Hello Neighbor, Hellblade, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay. These are a few games that you could play right now.
Yep.
Now, some of their other stuff, I'm going to hit a few quickest before I get into the bigger news, because there was a bigger announcement on that stage, but we're going to save that for last.
Of
course. This one is actually kind of big for me. And I was a little disappointed to hear that this happened because I'm a huge fan. But Xbox acquired Double Fine Productions.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's another one they've nabbed that's just way too damn good to be under someone's umbrella.
Can we think of another company that they bought that went underutilized? I don't think we. I don't know if we can or not. I think Microsoft's actually doing a good job. They're gonna go the way of Rareware, and I'm gonna be very upset.
Well, hopefully they learn their lesson from it.
Well, they're still not learning. They're releasing fucking some stupid-ass Battletoads game. They got all those proproperties under Rareware.
Okay, people love Battletoads.
No, they don't. They haven't loved Battletoads since fucking 1996.
How would you know?
I was 3. I was alive.
Exactly. You were alive.
I wasn't conscious, but I was alive.
Since it was brought up, Battletoads was announced, and I'll be honest with you, I was not a fan of what I saw.
Oh no.
I was just.
I mean, I'm not the
kind
market
of like,
for it, but
you know, I just kind of shrugged because I didn't know what to expect. I appreciated the different approach to it, but at the same time, there was just something about it that did not feel like Battletoads to me. So it just felt like this really, really off-putting generic brand of something, and it was just like, I don't want to play this.
No, I
but
get
if it makes money, sure, go for it. But I did not.
I don't know.
Catch my eye at
Our
all.
chat lit up when they saw Battletoads, so I was just like, oh, okay, so there's still a market for it. I didn't know if you were still going through Microsoft games or not.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
am.
want to jump ahead.
No, this is kind of in that same vein. There was a trailer for a game called Spirit Fair, which looked really awesome. It was a fantastically animated style.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
going to be in the Game Pass at some point, which I thought was pretty cool.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
A Blair Witch game was announced.
Yeah, Blair Witch 2. As I was watching it, I so thought it was going to be an Outlast.
Yeah, but
I
I wanted to ask if anybody even remembered Blair Witch.
Actually, I love the
No.
I love the first Blair Witch. That movie's great.
Yeah.
Actually, this game like if
I mean, it looks intriguing.
it
I'm not
does.
going to play it,
Like it started off,
but I will watch someone
like
play
if
it.
it had started off and it was like the Blair Witch, the game or whatever, I would have shut off. I would have been like, nope. But like I saw the trailer, I was like, hey, this looks pretty cool. And then they hit me, the Blair Witch. I was like, oh.
Two.
I was like, but they already have interested me, you know. It's a sequel.
Dos.
2. See, I didn't know that there was another one.
Blair Witch 2. I didn't either until they said 2, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
When was 1?
They threw us all for a loop. What else I got? Gears of War 5 is going to release on September 9th. Players will have an opportunity to play as a T-800 Terminator if you purchase it with a Game Pass membership before September 16th.
That's cool.
And also, if you do that, you'll get to play the game on September 5th. So, double win if you're looking forward to that game, I guess. Then
I'm
there was
not,
a game.
but Terminator in it is awesome.
Yeah, Terminator. You know, why not?
Right?
He might be in Mortal Kombat too, apparently. Who knows?
that's right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
keep hearing that.
Oh, if he's got a
also.
Lancer in Mortal Kombat, like the Gears of War chainsaw gun, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
cool. Chainsaw gun versus grappling shotgun, baby. Let's do it.
Yes. There was a trailer for a unique-looking game called 12 Minutes, coming to PC and Xbox One next year.
That's actually the one I was most excited for, really, out of there. Like that
Same.
that really intrigued me. The art style alone just like really sucked me into that trailer. I've watched it several times since. I'm looking forward to that.
I think
one.
the trailer itself is like directed super well too. Like I was like, this is grasp my attention, and I'm actually kind of, nervous watching it. Like it seems like some David Lynch film or something. Like it was cool.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one I'm looking forward to for sure.
That was actually one of those games that I was kind of wondering if we missed it at or at PAX or something, like it could have been hidden off
Yeah,
somewhere.
I don't know.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
What else we got? Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming stateside to Xbox One and PC next year, and possibly PS4 and Nintendo Switch. I remember playing the first, and I just, maybe it's gotten a following. Maybe that it's just not for us. I don't know, but it's coming. If you're a fan.
Yeah, it seemed odd.
Ninja Theory announced their new game Bleeding Edge, which is a multiplayer-focused game highlighting melee combat between 4-player teams.
Kind of gave me Overwatch vibes.
Yeah.
Overwatch with like
I like Ninja Theory,
a
but I mean I'm not a
Borderlands
PvPer,
type-
so I was
a
like,
Borderlands type
Right.
aesthetic, like the cartoony, goofy, weird stuff.
Yeah. Then we got a new trailer for The Outer Worlds, which still looks like Fallout in space. They did show kind of
Well, I mean, it's like you combined the studios, basically.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we did Fallout New Vegas. Hey, we did,
It's like, okay. They also showcased how you can play. You can be the hero, the villain, or you can be a sadistic prick, because why not?
Yes, please.
Very nice.
So that was kind of interesting. It's releasing on October 25th for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC via the Epic Store.
Of course. I knew it was epic.
Yeah.
We already knew that, though.
Yeah, but, just reinforcing, just in case people forgot, because that likes to piss people off.
It really
And
does.
finally, This isn't technically an Xbox exclusive title, but there was nowhere else to show their game, so we got a trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, and then they revealed their best kept secret, Keanu Reeves.
God, I screamed so hard when I saw that.
And they also pointed out that it is not a cameo. He is a very prominent character in the game.
Yeah. How?
Like, GG for keeping that a secret, dude. Imagine, like, I read some of the stuff that they went through just to keep him a secret, getting him into the building that day, too. Like, he had a whole fake name. They had stand-ins doing it. Like, the first time he was on the stage was when he was presented. They didn't even take any chances with, like, rehearsals or anything with him. They, it was just like, good job, dude.
How long?
Like, I'm really surprised that didn't
I wonder how long he's been on board. Like, has this been a whole thing, like, the whole time?
Well, the game's been in production for over 2 years now, right?
Has he been on board for the last 2 years?
Maybe.
Or is that a new thing? Because, like, damn. Like, with all the other leaks that happen constantly, how is the Keanu Reeves, like...
Right.
How did it happen?
I'm impressed. I'm super impressed they kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did, too, because that was an amazing reveal.
Right.
Like, I have to say.
I'm going to sound like a bit of a hypocrite, but, like, with all the actors and stuff like that being in games, like, this is the one I'm going to let slide. I'm like...
I like Keanu Reeves, though. Yeah. Like, I really do have a soft spot for him in my heart.
He's
I really like him. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's just like you always hear good news about Keanu. You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear bad press.
The game will release on April 16th of next year, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and luckily no Epic Game Store deal as of yet.
As of yet.
I wanted to make sure.
They'll wait till you order it on Steam and then let you know.
Mm-hmm. And you can also get your hands on a $250 Cyberpunk Collector's Edition with all sorts of goodies that I'm not going to go over. Just maps and statues and, the usual things, stickers and have you.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. But I mean, I know everybody's talked about it, but the breathless guy or breathtaking, what was it? With Keanu.
Yeah. You're breathtaking.
He was like, yeah. Like, did you hear that guy that shouted it out, like Cyberpunk, the devs actually reached out to him on Twitter and gave him a free collector's copy of the game?
Yeah, I did hear.
Which
is awesome. Good for him.
Yeah. Like, he put it on Twitter, obviously, that he was recording, and he's like, Keanu just called me breathtaking or whatever. And then underneath that comment was Cyberpunk going, hey, check your DMs.
Nice.
And sure enough, and then, of course, the slew of Twitter. Oh, great, now everyone's going to shout at E3 so they can get a free copy. Instead of just being like, hey, that's cool. A guy got caught up in the excitement in a moment, and I'm sure was not intentional to try to just
I'm not going to say that's
derail.
I'm not going to say it's not a valid point, though. Like, these people aren't performers. They're just CEOs trying to get their shit done. And then
I'm just saying, I thought it was neat. I'm sure we've all been in a crowd somewhere where we got way overtaken with like what was going on, and you did a thing, excited, you shouted or whatever before your brain even processed that you were doing something, and then of course for him to just go, "You're breathtaking," and play into it, I'm like, that was fun, And then GG guy for getting a free copy, but we're not saying people start shouting at E3 now in the hopes developers are going to give you free copies. This was a fluke incident. Don't troll the guy. Don't go after him. Don't, flame. I feel like I live in a day and age where I've got to say that. Like, don't go
it's
after
still them. Heckling. Leave them alone.
I'm going to touch on real quick. Devolver did their usual shtick.
Dude.
Which is always kind of amusing. But they did showcase...
Awesome.
They did showcase 2 games that I'm kind of interested about, because I will say something about Devolver. They are a very interesting publisher. A lot of their games, if you see their name attached to it, the game is going to be solid. True. I'll give them that.
Right.
The first was Fall Guys, which looked like it could be a lot of fun. It's a frantic multiplayer game. Just looks like people are just balls to the wall, slapping each other around, trying to win this big battle royale type game. So depending on what it is, I mean, the trailer looked interesting enough.
Yeah.
But if it's not that, then it'll be disappointing. But I think it will be. So it could be fun. Could be. That's the key word here. If you like multiplayer. The second was Carrion, which was described as a reverse horror game where you get to play as the monster.
It looks cool.
I read that. Yeah, I went and looked that trailer up. I want to play this game now.
Yup. It looks super dope. Like, it looks like some kind of Metroidvania where you're playing the fucking demon, and I'm like, that's so cool.
So I'm all in for that one. Now let's move on to Ubisoft, because they had a few things.
Skibbity bow bow bow. Skibbity
Let's
bow.
see, what did they have? They had, let's talk about Uplay Plus, because they announced that.
They're doing
So-
that now too. Yep.
Subscription
Yay.
model services, $14.99. Get all their games that they have, and then, of course, new releases as they come out. Launches on September 3rd, and you can get access right now to, or you can pre-order for when it comes up between now and August 15th, and you can get a free month for the entire month of September if you sign up now. Right now. They're not a sponsor, but you can sign up right now.
Now!
I feel
You
like
can
I
sign up
like
right
Ubisoft
now.
as a company, but I never really get reeled into their games.
No.
I mean, hey, you've got Assassin's Creed. You've got Assassin's Creed 2. You've got Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You see where I'm going with this?
Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Yeah. No, I get you. And they they're Just Dance, obviously. That'll come out every year. You know.
And
Right.
a fun time. Actually, this is the coming this year, 2020. It is like, was it? How many years was it? It's like 13 years of Just Dance being released on the Wii. Like, it is
Yes.
still
Yeah,
coming
I
out
saw
on the
that. That was
Wii.
weird.
And I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. I'm like, happy anniversary, guys.
Yeah.
Does
For
your
sure.
Wii still work?
Yes.
You better dust it off.
Don't talk
but
shit about my
then-
Wii.
But their big surprise announcement, or at least I guess it could have been a surprise had it not been leaked beforehand, would have been Watchdog Legion.
Right.
We got a trailer, gameplay, kind of laying out the plot in a post-Brexit London, showcasing the premise where you can play as everybody. Everybody's a playable character.
I want to be that grandma.
Yeah.
Don't we all, though?
Some people criticized. I saw this, the YouTube stream that was going on, and I knew it was coming. As soon as they started showing you playing Grandma Helen, there was a comment it's like, I don't want to play by Grandma. This is so stupid.
And don't choose her.
Exactly. That's what I'm sitting there saying. I was like, are you not paying attention to this trailer?
Yeah.
They said you can play as everybody. This is the point of showing you this. You can play as her if you want to. You don't
You know
have
what?
I
You can even kill
How
her.
how everybody do you think they mean when they say everybody? Do you think they mean
Twitter.
everybody?
I
a
mean,
small pool of Twitter people.
everybody.
But yeah, did you see the permadeath feature?
Yeah, that's pretty unique. I like that.
Yeah.
That always has me very nervous.
But I think
Permadeath makes me nervous. I get too attached to a character, man, and when it happens, I exit my. Oh God, my PlayStation turned off randomly. That's so weird. So I can reboot my last save game. Like I didn't know what that happened.
But this had to be the way it works for this type of game. I mean, if you can play
But
as
now,
everybody.
do they call them NPCs,
Interesting.
or are they
can.
just PCs
They are PPCs.
full of PCs?
They're-
Like you can't call them NPCs because that's now a lie in this game,
Well, I don't know what they'll call them.
right?
Yeah, but you're right. You're creating a whole new genre of characters in video games.
Yeah.
So we'll find out eventually. But the game will come out on March 6th.
The Watchdog Legions.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Beyond that, they had what else do they have? There was a new game from the Assassin's Creed people, Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
Like a storybook adventure. You play as a young Greek god. It kind of had some Breath of the Wild vibes.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
it did.
It's coming to PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Google Stadia on February 25th, 2020. They had a new IP called Roller Champions, Roller Derby.
That looked kind of fun.
Yeah, baby. Rocket League-ish, maybe. Then there was some new DLC for The Division 2, Like I Care.
Moving on.
There was a new, two Tom Clancy titles, Rainbow Six
Yeah.
Quarantine and Elite Squad, that's going to be a mobile game, and then the other one is for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. And the Elite Squad for mobiles said to feature Sam Fisher. If you're a Splinter Cell person, I think that's where a lot of rumors
everyone
were
was
coming
hoping
out.
for a Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of those were coming
hoping.
from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Garrett already mentioned Just Dance, so I'm going to throw that one away.
Skibbity bop bop
finally,
dude.
But the last one, which was very odd, I felt it was very odd because it was out of nowhere, was Rob McElhaney showed up on stage and announced
I
Mystic
forgot
Quest
about this.
Raven's Banquet, which was a new series produced by Ubisoft for Apple TV Plus. And
Yeah, we had a couple TV announcements, eh?
yeah, but I want to see it. I'm just not getting Apple TV Plus.
No.
I just don't know how I'm going to do it
Yeah.
yet.
I'm not going to pay
So-
for another subscription service.
Yeah, it's becoming too much. It really
That's what
is.
they don't seem to
I'm
understand.
forgetting what I have on where.
Cut it out.
I mean, it takes me it kind of gets me into a mindset sometimes where I'm looking at what I have, and if I'm watching, say, if I'm on Netflix and there's a show on, say, my DC Universe app that's just sitting there, and I'm like, I kind of want to watch that. I've heard a lot of good things about Swamp Thing. I want to watch that, but I'm over here on Netflix, and I'm done with the show here. All I know I have to do is swap the app, but for some reason, I'm already here.
You just
They're
don't.
I'm going to stay here.
They're just turning
Yeah.
everything. They're just turning it back into cable. Like you'll just eventually.
By the time you buy everything,
Exactly.
you're paying as much
Exactly.
as cable.
You're paying $10 a month for each thing. You got 9 different streaming services, and then you're just no. I gotta stop now. Like
I'm all for competition, though. Like, I'm not, but
Sure.
it's making it quite difficult to just remember what's
Oh,
what.
yeah,
I
And
agree.
then you're going to have
And-
Disney coming out soon. Anyway, we're digressing from games, but yes, too
it's
much.
too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Stop it.
But yeah, I kind of want to see that, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to Square Enix, because all they did for 90% of the show was Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
but we'll try to do our best
Which,
to cover what they
yeah,
did talk
pretty
about.
much was all I saw. And unfortunately, I never played any of the Final Fantasies, so unfortunately, Square Enix's presentation was a huge miss for me. There was nothing that they presented where I was like, okay.
Yeah. So it just seems. I don't know, dude. Like the trailer seemed kind of rough to me. It was like that classic trope where like something would happen off camera and then someone would turn and look that direction and then just make that anime sound where they go like over and over again. I was like, just cut it out, dude. Like we get it. Like
Are you a Final
they're
Fantasy fan?
shocked. I've never completed one.
Yeah. So I think that's where lies the difference. You have though, right?
Oh yeah,
Steven?
I've finished several in my time, but it's been one of those things that the older I've gotten and the less time I have.
Oh, they're too long.
Yeah, it's,
For me,
it's
for
gotten
my
to
taste,
a point
yeah.
where I can't commit the time it takes to finish one of these games.
I get you.
I think
Yeah.
the last
100%.
one that I finished completely would have been part 6. And I did play 7, like when it came out on the PlayStation, but I never got through it. And then time just went on and on. Played 8,
Yeah.
never played 9 and 10, and that's where I kind of lost track. It was like after 8.
So I own a bunch of them. I just haven't gotten around to it. Like I just keep filling up that back catalog, that backlog of shit to play, and I just can't. I somehow haven't gotten there yet. You know?
Yeah. But we did get to see Final Fantasy VII Remake. If anyone was looking for a true remake, I'm sure they're going to be disappointed, just in the sense of how the combat is now different. It's not turn-based, but now it's real-time.
Seemed like an
hack and
overhaul,
slash.
kind of, right?
Yeah, they did. You still got magic, still got limit breaks and items and stuff like that, but I felt like that was one of the beauties of the limit breaks and the magic spells and stuff like that. They were like little cut scenes within the action that just kind of shifted the perspective and then just gave you this neat little cut scene, like, the action's in place, and now it just kind of is part of the process, It kind of makes me wonder what materia is going to be like when you do your summons and stuff like that. Are they actually going to make a big deal out of that, or is it just going to blend in with the rest of the action too? Because I'll be honest with you,
Interesting.
if I don't see Bahamut show up from the sky and just unleash some massive attack, I'm going to be disappointed. That was like one of the coolest things that happened in that game. So I'm still interested. I mean, it does look gorgeous, but
Yeah, that I'll give you
I
that.
don't know.
It does look great. Like,
yeah.
it looks beautiful. That boss fight went on way too long, but like,
Yeah.
I was like sitting there. I was like, okay, you gonna say something yet? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and we saw how character transitions, because obviously the other game's turn-based, you had 2 or 3 characters on the screen at a time. They kind of back and forth, take turns for an attack. Now it's swapping back and forth, so I guess it's more tactical how your
That
combat
actually
goes.
looked kind of interesting to me. The idea of starting a combo with Cloud and then switching over to Barrett and unloading your gun, that kind of thing. I was like, that seems
Right.
kind of exciting.
The game is going to release on March 3rd, 2020, and is said to be divided over 2 Blu-ray discs. So
Yeah.
that's big. And
Yeah.
I have not heard proper clarification as of yet, because if you saw the case for it, it said Final Fantasy Remake. Did not say Part 1. And I'm pretty sure what they said in the past that it was episodic.
I
So,
did
I'm
hear
not sure.
that. I also heard that since you brought up the fact that it's not confirmed, but doesn't seem like it's being split into parts, I heard that half of the game takes place in like the very first city that you like experience in Final Fantasy VII, and I've already heard fans pretty upset with the fact that like there's so many levels and areas that are like just about the size of that first area, if not bigger, that take way longer to get through. So like, how is this? Did they shorten the second half of the game, or did they just stretch out the first half? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's where I want a bit of clarification, because I feel like we're not getting... I feel like there's a detail missing right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm going to keep digging on that. But while we're on the subject of Final Fantasy, Remaster Part 8 is coming out on all platforms. It just kind of made it look pretty. That's about it. They didn't
that
do
one's
much
a little
more
more
than that.
straightforward, right? That one's
Yeah.
much more.
It's just like a polished
Yeah.
HD remake.
Yep.
Then there was it seemed to be a remake of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which was a game
Yeah.
I did not get into.
That's one I have played, and it's actually a lot of fun. They've added online multiplayer with it too. So like,
Okay.
the different classes can be different people online. I'm like, that's a good idea.
There was also an expansion for Final Fantasy XIV called Shadowbringer that's coming out, and since Kingdom Hearts is essentially Final Fantasy adjacent, there was a trailer for it coming up, or its upcoming DLC, where you get to play as new characters, or characters from the game that are new to play. So, but they didn't really go into great detail about what that was. It was confusing to me. So
That's Kingdom Hearts
it's out
for you.
there. Convoluted mess. Quickest I got for this is footage for Dying Light 2 was shown with a spring 2020 release date. It's looking pretty good, I may say. Kind of excited. And then there was a new IP called Outriders announced, which they didn't kind of go into great detail over.
Yeah.
Right.
But after one solid hour of anticipation giving me the blue balls, and they still did, Marvel's Avengers was unveiled finally, and to be honest, I was a little underwhelmed.
Same.
First of all, the character designs lean too heavily into the film designs, and personally I would like to have seen something a little bit more comic book influenced, much like Spider-Man did. Because they had a costume that was new, but had a very comic bookish look.
Oh, yeah. And that was the one I played the whole time. I played mostly comic book stuff in Spider-Man.
Sure. Secondly, while they spoke of a completely original story, I got the impression the game wants to lean into online multiplayer more than a story-driven single-player campaign. Now, I do know that there is said to be a single-player mode, but they didn't go into detail talking about it. They actually spent a good chunk of time saying, online playing with your friends and everybody's going to be an Avenger and look at all this good stuff.
And then let's talk to the actors behind the game.
Yeah.
Woo!
We didn't care about them, did we?
No.
I don't know. I like Troy Baker.
Well, I mean, I don't want to see the
I mean,
game.
I didn't really watch the interview.
No.
But I'm like, all right.
I just don't want to see the game compromised as a games as service model, which is probably what it's going to be.
Oh, for sure.
My biggest problem
I
with
would've-
it is I still don't know what the fuck kind of game it is.
Yeah, they really didn't.
They didn't tell you.
I know it's not
jack
an
shit.
open world game. They did say that it's not open world.
Yeah.
So
is it gonna lean?
I guess it's gonna.
lean like Ultimate Alliance stuff, or is it gonna be like Final Fantasy Remake with like the switching of different characters? You have different abilities with Black Widow than you do Thor, or what?
Well, see, I would assume so because I saw this ridiculous headline, and Lace, you tell me how you feel about this. They said the devs of Marvel's Avengers explain how they're going to make Black Widow fun, as in fun to play with as a character. And I'm like, so why couldn't she be fun already? Why do we have to reinforce that she's going to be more fun than playing as Captain America or Hawkeye or Iron Man?
Well, what's her big ability?
She's a spy. She can kick ass.
She has the equivalent.
She has gadgets.
She has the equivalent.
I
So
think
according to the comics, she had the equivalent of the super soldier serum, but in Russia. So she has the equivalent abilities of Captain America. Just she's a woman.
but we just
and
don't
Russian.
utilize those as much.
No, she's
in the
she's been
movies
whittled
and stuff
down
like
to
that.
just like your standard spy with the
Well, then maybe they're going back to the
with
roots.
the grappling legs,
They're not going to rely on Scarlett Johansson to make
or
it fun.
rely on the head crushing in between the thighs flip trick. That
Yeah, like see, because to be fair, I'm one of those who I pick and choose which of the cinematic universe movies I want to watch.
Yeah.
And I don't read the comic books or anything like that. So, like, that's why I wanted to ask, like, what was her big skill? What is her thing? Because, like, I've seen the movies. Hers was not the most fun to watch out of all the other people who've got, like, you know, the gadgets or the actual huge superpowers. I feel like they didn't have her do a lot in the movie. So I was hoping in the comics that she had a larger role that I could try to shed some insight, that I'm hoping it's not just because she's a chick. Because to be fair, I feel like most dudes will play the chick character first. Just saying.
I classically play female characters a lot.
So
yeah.
exactly. So I don't think in this case, for some reason, I don't think that would be it, but I could be wrong.
I just felt like it was a.
Maybe she just doesn't have as much fun abilities to do. That was why I wanted
just
to
felt
know.
like it was a smarmy comment, you know,
Yeah.
just like we're gonna make Black Widow fun. It's like, but she can.
Now, maybe
be,
if I had paid closer attention to that part of it.
I don't know. That's just all I'm saying. I don't
E3,
know.
I could help you out more. I probably
Anyway.
started to lose interest in their presentation.
That's fine. Anyway, they did announce that there will be, like I said, more Avengers to play, but I'm sure that will be online. But then again,
DLC, yeah.
it's going to be. They did say this on stage. There will be free DLC, but they didn't specify what that would be because I
Right.
guarantee you,
Right.
costumes, characters, all the shit's going to be, because they did not say, and I did hear, there will be microtransactions. They just said no loot boxes, but microtransactions. So you're going to charge me for characters. You're going to charge me
Microtransactions
You're gonna
don't really
charge
piss
me
me off.
for the. But this is a situation where you have characters with classic costumes. I know this is maybe a long shot for this game, but just hear me out as a great example. They had Spider-Man in this game, and you say, hey, Spider-Man, but guess what? Black costume, Venom, black costume, $5.99. People are going to go, God damn you.
Yeah.
I want that costume
But
because
you
it's such a
don't
great
have to
costume.
buy
No,
it.
You don't have to,
buy it.
but
That's
people
the thing.
want
With
it.
skins and stuff, it doesn't make me mad. When it's pay to win or like gambling and stuff like that, that's when I'm like, come on, that's where it's a problem.
I know.
But like, I get it. Like, I'm trying to attribute it to something in my life that I'm that passionate about that it would piss me off, and I just can't right at the moment. But like, I get the passion behind it. But again, it still doesn't change gameplay.
I think microtransactions, yeah, they're a nuisance, and I fucking can't stand them because, like, there's a lot of things that I'm like, I paid $60 for your game. That's your standard price for a game. Give me the things that you created for
That's
the
fair.
game. Mm-hmm. And also, it's like it perpetuates this fucking like constant growth that the gaming industry thinks it will continuously have. So like every year they release a game that sells $60, but you know, if it sold the same amount of copies that it sold the year prior, there's no growth there. So they're like, oh shit, if I get the populace to spend an extra $1 billion on microtransactions, I'm still growing. My company's still getting bigger and my CEO's still getting a paycheck. Like, I don't know, like that irritates me because it's like that kind of growth doesn't exist, dog.
Yeah.
Or it shouldn't.
So, no, it shouldn't. So, I mean, they had all that, and then like kind of what you said with the who was it? The voice actors. We got two heavy hitters in the industry: Troy Baker, Nolan North, Bruce Banner, and Tony Stark, respectively. I was okay with those. Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham are actually voicing Black Widow and Thor right now on Disney's Avengers Assemble and have been doing so since 2013. So they're already familiar with what they're doing.
They're well versed, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I actually thought Thor sounded familiar when I heard him. I was like, is that the same guy? But I wasn't sure. And then I did my digging. I was like, holy shit, that is the same guy. And then the guy who's playing Captain America, his name is Jeff Sheen. There's a lot of extra letters there. He hasn't done anything noteworthy outside of voicing the character of Javier in The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. Beyond that, he doesn't have any...
Hey, maybe he's just getting his feet wet.
Yeah, he's just getting started.
And started off at heavy hitters.
I just hope they bring Yuri Lowenthal back for fucking Spider-Man when he's inevitably released into the game. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because they did say beta version on PS4 first, along with some other special bonuses. Wink, wink, but we're not going to tell you what they are. But come on.
Because we mentioned
we
the
know.
PlayStation version.
This also will release on the Xbox One, PC, and Stadia on May 15th, 2020. So if you're excited, I want to be excited. I'm just going to have to see more of it.
Me too. I'm just skeptical.
Right. You want these things to be good.
I fucking love the Avengers.
Right.
Why wouldn't I want to fucking smash around a city with Hulk? Like, Jesus. Like, yeah. But I'm going to be cautiously optimistic.
There you go. And finally, there was Nintendo. You know, they may not be the powerhouse console that everyone else is, but boy, can they bring the hype.
They can bring a direct, dog. They can brought down the house.
They kicked things off with a Super Smash Bros. Character announcement featuring the hero from Dragon Quest, which... when they first showed him in the trailer, I was like, do I know that hero? He looks familiar. I think I know that guy. And then they showed three other characters. Yeah, it was just... and then they showed three other characters, and then they showed the Dragon Quest XI logo. So I was starting to think maybe I was losing my mind. I was like, maybe I don't know this guy. And then they said, no, this is the hero from Part 4 of Dragon Quest, and then there was also the hero from 11, and then the hero from 8, and then the hero from 3. So you get all these games. I was like, so I did recognize 3 and the 4. So, I'm not stupid. And then, of course, they got the Dragon Quest 11 for the Switch, piggybacked off of that announcement, which made sense.
To me, they should have reversed the two. They should have started with the Dragon Quest and then been like, oh, blah, 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 coming to the Smash Brothers. You know what I mean? Like, like once they announced Dragon Quest, I was like, oh well, duh. Like they just put a character in Smash Brothers, so yeah, okay,
sure. But they had a lot of announcements, and some of them I don't feel are noteworthy. I kind of jotted down notes, so we'll just kind of
pick the big ones.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. Link's Awakening got a release date for the Switch, September 20th, 2020.
Looks cute. I like it.
Yeah. I like the art style they're going for. Luigi's Mansion 3. Got to see how that's going to go about.
That's this month, right?
I got no release date, no. No release date yet, but it's supposed to be sometime this year. I didn't see a release date.
I don't remember.
As I was watching it, because I was taking notes as I was watching it.
Mm-hmm. But it featured giant hotel, upgraded stuff, and you even co-op play with Gooigi. Ha 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 hoo ha.
He's a sex icon.
Mm-hmm. See what else we got. Witcher 3 Complete Edition coming in October, I think it was.
It looked like shit, honestly. Like it's going to because it's on the Switch, but like I guess
they said they're compressing that entire game into one cartridge.
How are they doing that?
Don't know.
I'm not a scientist.
No downloads.
Massive.
That's what they said. Mm-hmm. They're getting Resident Evil games because why not?
5, 6, 0.
Why not?
Blah, blah.
Lace, you said that you saw a game called Empire of Sin. I remember seeing bits of that. Kind of looked interesting.
Let John Romero make me his bitch.
Yeah, what was that? Well, I don't even know what kind of game that is.
I don't know. They promised that about something else before, too. I don't know. It actually does look kind of cool. It looks like a mafia... I don't know how to explain the top-down side kind of view.
Isometric. Mm-hmm. Isometric LA Noir is what it looked like to me.
That's actually a beautiful way to put it right there.
Yeah.
But with mafia instead of, the police.
Yeah. So then there was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 stuff that they were showing off. Cadence of Hyrule, which is pretty cool, I guess. Mario and Sonic at the
Your
Olympics.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yay. So is that a compilation of games from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games and then Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games, or is it a whole new thing?
I think it's a whole new thing.
Okay.
So
I was slightly
Tokyo
confused by that one.
Then this was a surprise announcement, was new Super Lucky's Tale, because that was an Xbox exclusive game at one time.
Oh, we've been saying this for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get into that.
And Nintendo, BT,
I'm going to get into that. But the biggest announcement for me personally was No More Heroes 3, which goes back to the gameplay of the originals, thankfully. And also, and I found this out, and it just made me so happy, is they brought back the original voice actor for Travis Touchdown, Robert Atkin Downs, which makes it even better because you cannot have that character without that voice. It's just not right.
How dare you do that?
I'm gonna be honest. I've never played one, and I'm very curious to see. I just want to know what the hell's going on because I like the character just from first look. I'm like, he looks fun.
Yeah, he is a trip. You'll love every minute of him. I'm really hoping that these games, I'm hoping with this newfound resurgence, we'll get ports out there, because we mentioned a few weeks back we've got the Travis Strikes Again game is finally coming to PlayStation 4 and PC, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that means that this game and maybe the older games will be ported over.
Oh, that'd be nice. So I don't have to hunt them down on the Wii.
Yeah, I'm just really, really hoping that this will happen. I mean, because even people who are playing it on the Switch right now, that's still 2 consoles back. They may not have had the opportunity. So even for Switch players, I want them to have this. I want it for myself personally on the PlayStation 4, but I'll take what I can get. I don't want to have to buy a Switch. that's my only argument at this point. So anyway, that's coming. Then they finally gave fans what they wanted, which was Animal Crossing New Horizons, which seemed to change the format up, I guess, sort of. I really couldn't tell.
I don't know. I'm just very happy for them because they've been wanting another Animal Crossing. My God, have they been wanting another
There's
Animal
a new crafting mechanic to it now, much like Stardew Valley or other games that took influence from Animal Crossing. It's going like full circle now.
Sure.
And I think they also announced that it was actually getting pushed back. So it's not coming out this year. It'll be coming out in 2020.
That is correct. I was actually going to bring that up because a side note to that whole thing is Doug Bowser kind of elaborated on that delay and seemed to kind of take a dig to other studios for crunch time.
Yep. And I appreciate
He did it very casually, but he did it. And I was like, good for you, buddy. So,
and I loved that they leaned into the Bowser joke.
Yeah,
they did.
It was pretty cringy, but...
No, I loved it. It was exactly what I was watching.
You loved...
Except as soon as he started to talk, I was like, oh, Reggie. Like, he needs a little more charisma,
Right,
man. I'm just
right.
saying, you have big shoes to fill, Mr. Bowser.
I'm not going to call him Dad.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not going to call him Dad.
No.
He better not get at my face.
So
'Cause I'll drop that
after they
motherfucker.
did,
But I loved it.
after they did all that, and you thought it was over, Nintendo comes back to Smash Brothers, focusing on Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and King K. Rool snoozing away. And then they're awakened by a noise. They peer outside, and we see two silhouettes of characters that fans have been clamoring for. And then what do we see is that bastard dog from Duck Hunt appear. And everybody's like, oh, you bastards, what are you doing? And then from out of nowhere, just like the announcement, we get Banjo-Kazooie drop in and smash the hell out of that damn dog. And this is proof positive. Proof positive. Nintendo and Microsoft are making backroom deals. They're plotting to take down Sony. I have no idea, honestly, what Microsoft is getting out of this, because it seems to be Nintendo doing all the taking. But when Mario shows up in Halo, I tell you, the world will burn.
So...
Oh, my God. I would actually play one, I think, if that happened.
Absolutely. I think basically Microsoft is trying to get a market in Japan, because they've classically never done well over there. So, like, I think if with their, like, weren't they doing some kind of weird Xbox Gold or Xbox Live on Switch cross-compatibility or some bullshit?
There has been, I don't think it's officially been announced, but we have been talking about it. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
There's that rumor floating around.
I don't know exactly what the deal was. It was like you can get Game Pass on the Switch or some rumors or something like that. So I think honestly they're just trying to open up their market, because Sony and
I mean, and that could be too, because I mean, they opened up with crossplay and things like that first, which I think is what kind of beat Sony into submission for some
Sony
things,
was just
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, let's see. Let's see how this works out, man.
And even after all that, Nintendo still had one in the chamber, because in what I immediately assumed was just DLC for Breath of the Wild, it was announced that the footage we just saw was in fact development of a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which has been said to, get this, the game is being inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2, and by that, I'm assuming we will get to see Epona's balls shrink, which will be a feat that we have not seen, because she's female, and that's just insane and amazing. So
I hope so. Good God.
It's a whole new world.
But yeah, that capped off E3, guys.
Yeah.
That was a massive show, massive stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And
so there's some things to look forward to, and unfortunately for me, a bulk that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest argument I heard, because like most people, like this year's E3 were kind of like a little underwhelmed, and I feel that.
Sure.
I feel that because like a lot of the things I was excited for, I knew about before E3, and so announcing Cyberpunk or Vampire the Masquerade or things like that, I'm like, I already was following those things. When we're in this in between year, which was a good argument that I heard, like we're broaching on this next gen. And it's probably just one of those things is like, how much can we talk about now versus the stuff we want to release when the next generation console comes out, or are there as many people developing for this new console as the one that we've got go and stuff. So I feel like that's a fair argument for maybe why we felt a little underwhelmed with the announcements this year, is like that next year might be the one that we're all like, holy crap, man, this was the E3.
I don't know how many more years E3 is going to be a thing, tell you the truth.
And that was going to be my next thing, was
like,
that if this continues to go, because they're proving it's just so easy to not have to gather together in a place and do it, since Devolver streams theirs. Nintendo doesn't do a live
Sony's
event.
doing that now.
Sony's no longer doing it,
and it's so much more
I was
convenient.
kind of surprised they didn't plan a state of play at the same time, honestly, or around the same time. But like the convenience.
Those
of it all,
directs
may not
are
just
so
be worth
convenient.
spending money for those,
and they don't have to worry about. Well, I mean, we all loved the Cyberpunk heckler, but like they don't have to worry about a live audience. They don't have to worry about performances. They don't have to worry about. They just script something, shoot something, post something. You know what I mean? Like it probably saves a shit ton of money too.
I feel like
So like, I don't know how much longer it's gonna go. And besides, journalism on gaming isn't what it used to be in the 2000s when you had to actually rely on a gaming,
Which is what it was for. It was never open to the public,
yes.
Or
so now it's like
closed it.
Now that it's streamed straight to your house, like I don't it's already it's already a direct. It's just still a conference,
They're still spending money on the booths. Yeah. So, I mean, I still think it would be a cool thing to go to, but yeah, I'm starting to see that its necessity is really no longer.
Tradition.
Now I've never been to the show floor. I don't know what they've got demoing or promoting, or like the influencers, streamers, whatever, the ones that are high up with these, they can get press passes and stuff. I don't know what they're getting to see, obviously, that the rest of us may not be seeing. Like, I didn't get to play the Cyberpunk demo.
It's tradition, and I think, and I fall for it too. Like, I watch it every year. Like, of course,
it's like our Christmas.
Exactly. Like it's. Yeah. I love when E3 gets like silly. Like, I like it when they don't take themselves so seriously, and the production value and stuff kind of gets a little wacky. But it's just, it's eventually will probably end, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hope they still decide on at the same time of year to do these things, because I like that whole week of hype and getting to sit down with friends and watching all of these new announcements. So regardless of if E3 ends up finding itself extinct, I hope these companies can still decide on E3 week.
I agree.
Sure.
Regardless, of where they are, because I get a thrill out of still watching it, even if I'm disappointed at the end of it. The whole excitement leading up to it, and like getting together with your gamer friends and watching it together on YouTube or Twitch or Mixer, or whatever
or
you watch
doing a
it on,
podcast like this, talking
fun.
about fucking E3.
I still enjoy the pomp and circumstance.
Sure.
So I hope in some fashion that it still will continue on.
I'm sure it will.
So.
But we are not going to continue on, because that is our show.
Because we have been talking for way too long. My God, guys, we keep talking way too long.
It is E3, but there was so much to talk about, so much to unpack. So
really was.
Thank you to all of our listeners out there. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Super Mega Crash. You can find us on Instagram to view our weekly icon art. This week is a goodie, if I may say so myself. You can also shoot us an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com. You can support the show by pressing a like button, leaving reviews on your preferred platform. Hey, tell us if we missed a game that we didn't talk about and you want to.
Or did I say something wrong, like always?
Yeah, something like that. You can just.
Or you hated the guest this week. Just, whatever.
Yeah. Or that. So you
tell
just at him.
Tell us you don't want him back, or hey, tell us you want him back every time. But anyway, you can do that on your preferred platform, and you can even support us on patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. And should you want to share the love, tell your friends to find us on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and even youtube.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
I'm Lacia Finley.
Steven, you're such a professional at rattling off all your stuff, man. Like doing your plugs, and I'm impressed. Like, I'm gonna look like a damn idiot. Like, I'm about to just
no.
Hey,
we've got to have that one on the show that makes the rest of us look.
That's why I'm here, folks.
But also, we had Garrett Hunter with us.
Yes, tell everyone where they can find you on the interwebs.
Yes, I run a video game podcast, much like these fine people here. We're called the Bootleg Shanty. You can find us at most podcast streaming websites and apps and all that good stuff. Steven said them all, so rewind. We're called the Bootleg Shanty.
Where do you listen? Look that up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're called the Bootleg Shanty. We also do lots of Let's Plays and sketches and stupid stuff on YouTube. So come check it out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, definitely go over to his YouTube channel and check out the Get to Know videos. Garrett just had one post recently.
I had a lot of fun making those.
They're very good. They're very amusing. Anyway, guys, that is it. Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.